As we know, the Canadian Championship date in particular, again, still waiting on complete confirmation and government approval on that. But we know March 20th between Toronto FC, Forge FC, that was the date we heard that it's going to be played. And we know a lot of, Forge FC fans, members, a little upset about that because they have yet to be given government approval to train. And that also prompted their owner, Bob Young, to publish an open letter on Twitter. Forge FC retweeted it. You can either go to his account or you can go to the Forge FC Twitter account, read it in its entirety. But he does call out Canada Soccer. So I guess, Gareth, I'll come back to you. I mean, just what did you make of what he said in that letter?
Well, they probably should have waited a couple days to make that statement, as Toronto FC has released a statement about positive COVID cases within the TFC camp. So they haven't been training since last week. So perhaps that would have been or could have been the great equalizer in this entire situation. Look, Bob Young, what he did was he created this us against the world mentality, or them against us mentality, where everyone's up against the underdog from Forge FC. I totally get that. I even sympathize with the situation that Forge finds themselves in. But let's be clear about this. I'm not sure airing this sort of dirty laundry out for everyone to see is the right move at a time like this when everyone's dealing with adverse conditions. Look, it seems like the target probably should have been the provincial government, who still hasn't given a proper answer when this team can return to training and still has not passed a date, being March 20th, we believe, for this game to be played. I can't sit here and say that Canada Soccer's at fault. I can't sit here and say that Forge FC's at fault. What I do know is that Toronto FC received proper permission to start training back in February. I'm not sure why reporters in Hamilton weren't all over this situation on February 17th, started to ask proper questions why their professional club team wasn't training, because everything was eerily silent till last week all of a sudden. There's just some things here that simply don't add up. Again, I'm sympathetic to Forge, but I just think making Canada Soccer your target right now, that aim is misplaced for me. I just don't, it's just not the right tactic that I would have kind of gone through to approach this very delicate and very difficult situation.
Pandora's box has definitely been opened on that one. But Ollie, where do you even see a resolution here? What do you still make of the Canadian Championship being played on March 20th? What do you think the best outcome could be?
Well, as far as I see it, there's two possible options, and one of them I'm not even sure if it is possible or not. I'll throw it out there, and we'll see what happens. But the first one is obviously March 20th. We know we can play the game on that date. We can get the Champions League qualifier. It's out of the way before the international break. That is obviously the date that's been reported and we're expecting. It's not a fair fight, but it may be the best that's possible in these circumstances. The only other possibility I can think of is April the 3rd, and that would mean having to play the game in Florida because you wouldn't be able to get the players who had been on international duty back into Canada and out of a quarantine in time for that match. Is that a possibility? Again, I don't know. I haven't heard a reason yet why it wouldn't be, but there could be something there that makes it not possible. There's so many variables, right, that Canada Soccer has to deal with. It's very, very difficult to speculate on this, to speculate who's at fault, to speculate what alternatives could be. We just don't know, right, because there's so much information that isn't quite clear.
Yeah, I just want to jump in really quickly. Just want to jump in quickly. We've known for months now that Q1 was when this game was going to be played, right? And I've been told that both clubs kind of knew that this was kind of the preference. So why aren't Forge training? Why haven't Forge been able to train? I would love to get a straight answer on this, whether from our government or someone else, because that's the missing part of this equation. That's why this doesn't make sense. Because March 20, that date should be fine for all parties, but Forge isn't training. Why aren't they training? Please, someone answer that question for me.